Hello, and we're live. Thank you so much for tuning into FMB Radio. Welcome to Tapping into Your Greatness. You're tuned into FMB Radio. This is a talk show hosted by me, your fairy queen. I have an exciting show planned for you today. The show is all about celebrating personal excellence and diving into the minds of highly motivated individuals. So before we dive into the show, I just want to get some things off my chest. So last week was Windrush Day, and I celebrated it by organizing a couple of events at work. So I worked for Nottingham University, and we had a great lecture and also a conversation about the Windrush scandal and the help that's out there. So if anyone is ever interested, just DM me on my Instagram. I also went to the Nottingham Castle for an exhibition called Don't Blame the Blacks. It's absolutely amazing to see the contribution of the Windrush generation here in Nottingham. And if you are interested in exhibitions, please check it out because it's going to be on from now till the 22nd of August. So if you want to come to Nottingham, it's definitely a place to be. So the second thing is I got an amazing guest who is going to come today. I work along with her in Unity in the Community. She cares so much about her local community, society, and is also a fashionista. It is a much pleasure that I'm going to introduce you to her today. And in a few seconds, you understand why she is absolutely amazing. Before we go into the show, if you want to send any questions or comments, please feel free to slide into my DMs on @FairyQueenTatiana on my Instagram or at FMB Radio. So now it's time to introduce you to our guest of Tapping into Your Greatness, Deborah.
Hello.
Deborah, how are you feeling today?
I'm all right. I'm a bit nervous, but I know you and I should just calm down. It's not the first time I've done an interview, so I should be okay.
Oh, I know you know, it's amazing that you're here. I really enjoy working with you, Unity in the Community. And for those who don't know, we meet regularly. So it's not like we just have one project and we just meet then. We have regular interaction. And it's just amazing to see you at work and learn from you. So how did you become involved with Unity in the Community and become the director?
Well, I've known Devonte for quite a number of years now. In fact, he approached me to help me on a project that I was going to do. I didn't actually see that project through because various things happened. But we kind of stayed in touch, but we didn't, talk regularly. And then out of the blue, he approached me, called me and said, look, Deborah, I'm starting this company and there's a position. And I wasn't being a director at that particular time. It was a different position, actually it's for marketing. And he said to me, I've seen what you do. And I remember when we were speaking before, you were so good with like social media, marketing and different things. And he says, I really want you to be a director, but for now, would you consider, coming on board and helping, us with the projects, setting this business up and working on the marketing. So I said, well, look, let me have a think about it because you should never jump in with 2 feet.
Yes.
Yes, it's a lesson learned. So look, let me have a think about it. Sounds great, sounds wonderful. He gave me lots of information, links to the websites, everything. And I had a look and I thought, something, I need something new. I'm busy, but I need something new and different to get my teeth into. And so I took up the challenge. And then literally within a month, it was like, look, I really want you to be a director because I want you to be part of this project properly and not just, to be paid. I want you involved at the head. So I said, okay, I'm happy with that. So yeah, we just went from that to that. And my company, Fashion's Finest, my other company is actually a partner of Unity in the Community. So we will support not just me, but also my business will support Unity in the Community. Completely different businesses.
Yes.
But I think at the end of the day, if you sit down and look at both, the values are both the same. We're working towards the same thing, really. So yeah.
That's absolutely great. Why do you think it's so important to not only be involved with, but work in a community kind of business?
Because for me, it's important because when I was growing up, basically, I grew up in a single parent household. And when I was very young, my mother passed away. And so I had this very crazy life. literally lost everything at the age of 10, came to Nottingham, had to start again, new friends, new house, lots of crazy things, and I lost my identity. I lost my friends, I lost my identity, I didn't know who I was. And I was brought up then, I was working class, but then I was brought up kind of in a middle class environment, but I was still working class. Those same struggles that my mother faced were still the same struggles that I was facing. And for me, and it's something that was kind of organic, it's always been like, people have helped me along the way, literally along the way, learning simple things, Photoshop, simple things. People think they're crazy things, but things that you don't know that you're going to need in the future. Yes. So how to use computers, how to work with children, how to talk, how to public speak. People taught me these things as I was growing up as a child and becoming an adult. And so for me, it was so easy for me to think, you know what, I need to give back to not just society, but to the community, my own community, as best I can. But also growing up, I saw the inadequacies and the how my community was being treated unequally to other communities. And I hate unfairness. I just totally hate unfairness. So that was another issue that I had inside me that I needed to work out. And that would be worked out within whatever community I was kind of working in. That I would help people and try and open doors for people so that what I went through when I was younger, when I was a teenager, when I was a young adult, that yes, they may still be going through it, but it will be easier, because I can help them open doors. I can help them with advice. I can help them and show them, don't do it this way, do it this way, and it will be easier for you. So it's really important for me to get into the community. And when we say community, I don't mean it doesn't have to be the Black community. My community was my fashion community. So in terms of my fashion community, it was, how can I help Black designers? How can I help Black models? How can I help Black makeup artists and Black hairstylists? How can I help Asian designers? How can I help designers who have a disability? All these people who are underrepresented and can't get their voices out there, how can I help them? And I am in a position, especially in my business there, to help these people. And that is what I do, in my fashion side. And that is what I'm hoping to do more so in working with unity in the community. Unity in the community. It's different, but it's still the same. Transferable one from the other. So yes,
definitely. So in your own thoughts then, what do you think is key to have unity in the community where, currently since last year 2020 the world has been very polarized and people are very divided? What do you think is key to having people from different communities, whether there be different ethnicities or different abilities? How can we bring everyone together?
I think that's difficult, to be honest, because everybody thinks about unity, but they all think about it in a different way. You come at it from your own perspective, your own values, your own upbringing. But for me, it's just, let me give you an example. When I was growing up, I grew up in a very diverse community. It was a very unusual upbringing when I came to Nottingham. I won't go into it today, but I grew up with people from all different kinds of nationalities, to the fact that I didn't notice that people were white or people were Indian or Chinese. I didn't notice it. Literally, I don't know if I was walking around with blinkers, but I didn't notice it. For me, that is how it should be. It shouldn't be that you open your door and you walk on the street and people are looking at you because of your skin color or because of, you wear a hijab or because you're disabled. We should just be treating people just the same, everybody the same, regardless of your status, regardless of whether you're working class, regardless of whether you are privileged. We should just treat people equally. How we get to that, I really don't know, Tatiana. I wish I had the answer to that, but I really don't know, because as the decades go on, it's still the same issue.
Yes.
So I wish I had an answer for that, but I really don't know how we did get to that point.
Yeah, and I think it's a very honest one. And, you know, the most important thing I think for us is to work towards having unity. How it will happen, that's a big question. But as long as there are people like yourself who are
doing your bit,
yeah,
do your bit. That's all that matters. At the end of the day, if I do what I know is right in my own circle and the people I work with, that's how I'm helping the cause to bring unity.
Thank you. So you're talking about your values within Unity in the Community are similar to the ones in your fashion business. So can you tell us about Fashion Finest?
Yeah, so Fashion's Finest, we started this back in 2009, and it was literally just an online magazine, a very diverse one, because it was very rare that you would see magazines with like Black people in it, or Indian people, or anybody with any kind of brown skin. And so from the outset, we had a very diverse platform that was catering for everybody, because again, everything I do is built upon how I was brought up. Like, my community was mixed. It's just normal for me to be, mixing and having everybody in there. So we started with a magazine, and obviously we had connection. We did shows and went to events. So we worked a lot with models and designers, but not established designers. These were like young people, young adults who had just left college. Maybe they didn't go to college. Maybe they learned at home through dressmaking and practicing, and some went to college, so they learned in different ways. So we started to put on these little events in London, in Covent Garden, and it was called Renaissance. And it was a mixture of fashion and music and spoken word. So everybody that took part was very early stages, and they were presenting to crowds of people who came and were drinking and had food and nibbles. It was a really sociable evening, but presenting their spoken word, presenting their songs, presenting their fashion. And it was just a beautiful and creative thing. And we did this for quite a few years, and we kind of outgrew it. And the first time we moved to a bigger venue, we did a show, and it fell during the London Fashion Week season. I think it was in February. And then really we never looked back. We've just literally gone on and continued doing these events every year, twice a year, especially these two. And these two are especially for, like I say, emerging designers and people of colour, people with low income, because fashion is a very exclusive industry.
Yes.
And very snobby industry. And, I get looked down on, but, in my opinion, you can look down on me, but I'm not down there, And so my aim is always to, again, like I said at the start, is to help those young people who are underrepresented. They don't have a voice. They can't afford the big fees that you would have to pay if you went to, for example, the British Fashion Council to do their shows. Even if they had the money, would the British Fashion Council take them anyway? They may not be the right type of designer for their platform. So now we put on these shows, and we invite the press, we invite buyers, we invite magazines, photographers, guests, VIPs, we have celebrities, and they come and enjoy the fashion. And it's diverse, it's colourful, it's eclectic, you name it, it's there. And these are young, talented people from all walks of life, not just from the UK either. They come from abroad, they come from Africa, they come from America, they come from Italy, Spain, you name it, they come and they present their work there. So that's what we do, but we don't just take their money, do the show and goodbye. We're here for you. What do you need to grow your business? What do you need to keep your journey going? If you have any questions, if you need any further support, come, will help you. So we've kind of got a little family going. We have designers that come back year after year. We have regular models, professional models that walk for us in our shows. And I have a fabulous team that some of them have been with me since we started, literally in 2009. And it's just fantastic. And it just feels so rewarding to know that you're just helping people. I need help myself. I'm a small business. I'm not a big business. I'm a small business. I am underrepresented as a director. I am underrepresented as a woman in business, in the fashion industry, but that doesn't bother me. That's more of a challenge to me still. Like, I've got to do this. I struggled. I don't want these young people to go through what I'm going through. I want them to be able to get their business from step of the ladder, get to the next rung, get to the next rung, get to the next rung, and take their wings and go. So
it's absolutely amazing that you've created a platform for underrepresented, either fashion designers or models. If someone is an aspiring model or aspiring fashion designer, how do they get in touch with Fashion's Finest?
So these days, all the young people are on Instagram. So you can go to Instagram and you can message us on Fashion's Finest UK, I think it is on Instagram. So there, or you can find me, Deborah St. Lily, on Instagram as well, or just go to the website, and on the website there's a contact page. So it's www.fashionsfinest.com, and then you'll see a contact page and you can fill that in, or just email us info@fashionsfinest.com.
I'll make sure I put that in the comments below, definitely. So I absolutely loved watching things like Project Runway or American Next Top Model. Yeah. Is your business that fickle or that strict, or how do you spot talent, and how do you kind of develop fashion artists who are building their craft but are not there just yet?
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of the models that we work with now, they were just interested. And so we had catwalk training. Before every show, actually, we have a run through and we have more practice. It doesn't matter if you've been walking with us for 10 years, you do that runway walk through. And the professional models actually help the new models. And it's about giving people the opportunity, because I know so many times it's like, you need experience. Hello, how do you get experience if somebody doesn't give you that opportunity to have that experience? So we do that. Sometimes we run courses, and people can come to those courses, so catwalk training. I don't do it myself, but I do have somebody that runs it, and we talk about different aspects of modelling, because you have to be, it is a very brutal industry, and you have to be honest with people. My thing is always to be honest. If there are different types of modelling, so not everybody is fit for the catwalk. They may be a commercial model, they may be an editorial model, they may be a Sports Illustrated model, they may be a lingerie model. So there are all different types. Everybody seems to want to get on the runway, but it doesn't always work. And also for Fashion Week, especially, there is a height limit. And so I keep mine slightly lower. At the moment, they're saying models need to be 9'10" and above. I mean 5'10", 5'9" and above.
I was like 9'10". I was like, whoa, that's giant.
That's tall. 5'9" and above, but I let 5'8" in. But I actually do have one model that's probably 5'6" and a half. Okay. She's a petite model, and often people want a very small model as well. And then we do have plus size models. We work with designers who, this season actually, I have a designer, she wanted to do it from the September, when we went into the lockdown in February, she planned to do September 2020. And so she's doing a collection for especially plus size. So there'll be all plus, beautiful ladies on the catwalk, you know, so yeah.
Yes, inclusivity is so important, especially in the fashion industry. And
yeah.
I'm just very happy that now the fashion industry is starting to listen and having more of that diversity. But throughout your career, have you seen a lot of change happening internally in the industry?
No. There's a lot of talk and not much. And I think if they make those changes, what they do is they go for high profile people who are already in high profile jobs. For example, I'm going to give you an example. So the British Fashion Council are the people who do the main London Fashion Week shows. Everybody knows them, everybody wants to be with them, even though the prices for everything are just, you have to remortgage your house kind of thing. And then they're like, oh, diversity, we're bringing in a diversity panel. And so on that panel were people like June Sarpong. Like, what does June Sarpong know about the fashion industry? You know, was that because she was working for the BBC, you decided to use June Sarpong? So I don't feel that's diverse because you're ticking a box. Yeah, we have a black woman, but she's a black woman that's doing okay. What about the ones that aren't doing so okay? How can you raise their profile in terms of diversity? You know,
yes.
And as far as I can see, maybe it will change, but it's like we talk about it, we do it for a while, and then it drops out of sight. Then we raise that point again, and then we do it again, and then it's forgotten. And I always say to people, we're not a trend. We are not a trend. We can't be brown today and be green tomorrow. We are this colour from birth, and we are this colour till we die.
Yeah.
You know, so don't treat diversity like it's a trend. It's not a trend. This is people's lives that you're dealing with, you know? So I just hope that things get better in the future. As I say, we just have to do our bit to help.
Yes.
And that's all we can do. Yeah, so.
Oh, that's great. I would always say that the projects that we work on that we absolutely love, like, you know, you've got Fashion's Finest. How is Fashion's Finest a reflection of your values and your aspirations in your life?
Absolutely a reflection of my values. I work with integrity. I always have worked with integrity. I've always worked honestly and truthfully. My industry is full of people that will say things just to feel important. They will just to get your money. And then once they've got your money, they can't deliver on what they've promised. People stab you in the back all the time. Things are coming back to me. I don't even know who these people are, but yet they have so much to say about me, you know? And I made a point from the start, I would not get involved in any of that, nothing at all. If I have a problem with you, I will speak to you, me and you. If it doesn't come from me, it's not the truth, you know? So that is how I run my business. I run it with integrity, I run it truthfully. My team are kind, loving people, supportive people. Every time people talk about Fashion's Finest, they say, oh, come and join the Fashion's Finest family. The models, you know, the designers, it's not even my team, it's people who have worked with us. You're like family, it's lovely. It's where people can feel safe. It's where people can be themselves, you know, and we're not going to judge them. We're not going to, you know, start saying things about them. They can just come and be who they are. And that's how literally I have nurtured and put this business out there. So, and my team, to be honest, if I took sick tomorrow, and I have been sick on many occasions, I know I can not even attend an event and leave my team to it, because the same values that I have, they've taken upon themselves, and that's how they deal with guests and everything, you know. If a guest is being you know, just stay calm, take them to one side. The guest is always right. The customer is always right. Let's just see how we can, you know, sort that problem out and have a smooth show, a smooth event. So yeah, you know, I believe, yeah, I live my life like that. I live my life the same way. I have good friends. My friends treat me good. I treat my friends good too. And, you know, so it's not as if I put on a hat and then I'm taking it off. It's literally a hat that I wear 24/7.
So you're saying, like, you know, your industry is quite fickle. How do you remain resilient and, you know, carry on as yourself, as being a director, or even what advice do you give to the models and the fashion designers who are facing challenges throughout their, you know, career?
I think, you know what, I tell them, as I tell myself, you have something unique to bring. You know, I know that what I bring to Fashion Week is something very different to what anybody else is bringing. People may replicate it, but it's not as diverse, it's not as inclusive, it's just different. And I think you have to know for yourself. It's very difficult to say to somebody, keep going. You've got to know for yourself that what you are doing brings value. Otherwise, if it's not bringing any value, why are you doing it? You know, you want to be a fashion designer. Why? Because it's glamorous. Because what? What value is it bringing? You know, how is that going to make your life better? Are you going to be able to make a business from this? So there are lots of things. So I would sit down with them and I would ask them these questions. You know, and again, I used to say to myself, is this a hobby or is this a career?
Yes.
You know, and even some days when I'm struggling, I say, oh, this feels like a hobby. You know, when you're having your bad day, it's like a hobby. I'm not making any money. It's just a hobby. You know, but you have to differentiate between is it a hobby or are you going to take this and make a full-time career of it? And if so, what are those steps going to be? Yes. Don't look at other people. People will always be criticizing. People will always judge you. But if you know what you have and if you know where you want to go, just keep focused on what you want to do. Keep focused. Write your goals down. Write some steps down. You know, you don't have to call them goals, call them steps, call them achievements, whatever, but have something to work towards instead of just, you know, letting life go, you know, take you as it pleases.
Yeah.
So, yeah, have some structure, have some goals, plan, and also, especially with young people, they feel like when they leave college or university, they know it all. I've had so many conversations, and I'm like, I feel like screaming at them and saying, I am this age and I do not know everything. We have to, life is about learning. You never stop learning until you leave this earth. You know, so that is a key thing for me to tell, you know, young people. Keep your ears open. Always be ready to listen to people who may have that little bit more, you know, advice than you do. They've been in the business longer. They will know more than you do. You know, so just, you know, listen, absorb, and take that information and use that information, you know, to help yourself and your business, you know, grow. So.
Yeah, I think life is an absolute lesson, and it's a university of life. Even though you can go study, but I find that the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know, and just got to be so open-minded and take the lessons that apply to you, because, you know, different experiences will hit you differently, and you'll just take different lessons from it. So just be open to learn, forever be a student.
Yeah, and also and even the things that may not apply to you, how about you take that and give that to somebody else? Somebody might need that bit of advice, maybe not now, but later in life, hopefully it will come back to memory and you'll be like, oh, you know, let me pass that on because this person needs that. You know, so it's not always about what we need, it's about, you know, maybe somebody else might need in the future. You know, so think more about others, not just, you know, yourself.
Yeah, and this is why I like having people like yourself to come on the show, because everyone can take something different. And I don't know who this would be speaking to. And hopefully one of our listeners will be like, I really needed Deborah to speak today. So again, thank you for being here. So earlier we're just talking about, setting goals or having some form of a structure. I love goal setting because I think it's so important to how I've, accomplished things in my life. So how do you set your goals, or how do you structure yourself to know I'm going from A to B, and, how do you navigate through your goals?
I think as I've got older, I've changed. When I was younger, I had very strict goals, very strict goals. And it's good and it's bad, because you can have those goals, and then when you don't meet them, it can actually bring you down, and then you start beating yourself up.
Yes.
And I used to be like that, like, failed, I'm a failure, because I haven't reached that goals. So now I do have goals, but I don't really call them goals. I just have little timelines, literally. And I think because the stage my business is at, I don't really have to set certain goals, because it's just, I know what's going to happen. Yeah. But obviously I need to plan for the future. What else can I add to my business? What else can I do to change the direction? Especially like we just had a lockdown. Now I'm still on the lockdown. Everybody else is having fun. My business is actually still on a lockdown. So since February 2020 was the last time I did the event, I haven't done anything else except a few little things that we do with the website. So I've had to be planning. I planned for the September, that didn't happen. I planned for the February, that didn't happen. I planned for the September, that didn't happen. Here we are again. I'm planning again for September. So fingers crossed, everything works out. So these are at the moment, these are my little goals. My little goals are literally, I just need to survive. I need my business to be able to come out of this. Because also I'm one of those businesses that had no help from the government. So how do I come out of this, and still have a fully fledged business and be able to carry on as I was before, So I'm just taking little goal steps, little planning steps. That's what they are. I'm planning little things that I haven't actually actioned, but I'm looking and I'm researching and I'm applying for, and I'm asking for information, and I'm getting help, and I'm making notes so that when I'm ready to go, I can go.
Yes.
That's exactly what I'm doing right now for Fashion Strands. Yeah.
Two things that you said really resonated with me. One is, when you set your goals very strictly and you're disappointed at yourself, and you can be your worst critic, because I'm a very goal-driven person, and I don't go to anyone else's standard, but I have a standard for myself. Yeah. So what would you say to people, like, how do you get over that? Because it's very hard when you disappoint yourself. It's the worst feeling. So how would you, what would you say to someone who's disappointed themselves and being really tough on themselves, how to be kinder to themselves?
I usually say to people, don't beat yourself up. I mean, who apart from you, who else knows about that goal at the end of the day? It's you, unless you've shared it with people. It's only you that knows that. And now, how I look at things it's not a failure. It's a learning curve. So if I don't meet that goal, what can I learn from that?
Yeah.
Why didn't I meet that goal? Maybe it was too much for that period of time. Did something happen during that time that may have took my focus off? There's always something. You could be ill, something happens in a family. Lots of things can take your focus off your goal and stop you from achieving that. But it doesn't mean you're a failure. Because if you've taken one step, it's a step in the right direction. So I always say to people, now listen, are you moving? Are you moving forward, or are you moving backwards? Which are you doing? If you're moving forward, pat yourself on the back. So long as you're not standing still and you're not dropping backwards, you're moving forward, pat yourself on the back, because you're doing well. don't compare yourself to other people because we're all different.
Yes.
We all achieve things at a different rate and different times. Just keep that in mind.
Yes, no, definitely. And the second thing that you said is about your goal for your business, especially now, is just to exist. And I think from a business sense, like survival is very important, but also for ourselves mentally. And sometimes if we're going through hard times, all we need to do is just have that energy to still have that hope to want to wake up. And I think it's so important that sometimes our goals may not be exterior things, but just to keep things afloat. And it's just worth remembering that that's a goal in itself, because sometimes it may feel like a very big step to just survive and be afloat.
Absolutely. You know, I keep saying to myself, I'm still here. You know, I could have literally during the COVID, I could have lost everything. I literally could have lost everything. I'm still here, you know, and I have a little plan, you know. Doesn't matter if I don't come back guns blazing like I was, you know, pre-COVID, I'm still coming back.
Yes.
Achievement.
Definitely. So because this is tapping into your greatness, what are some things that you're great at and how do you tap into your greatness?
I am, when you ask people, you don't want to sound big-headed, do you?
No, you got to own it and embrace it. It's all about owning the things that you're great at. So share with the world.
I think from a very young age, I realized I was very creative in terms of sports. So I was about probably five or six when I realized I was good at running. So and then I used to win all the races and everybody wanted me on their team. So I developed my sports and it just, you know, went through infants, junior school, senior school, and I was running the fastest, you know, playing netball, doing things outside of school to grow my skills. I also realized that I picked up some skills from my mum. So I told you my mum passed when I was 10.
Yes.
But when she was alive, she used to sew, crochet, knit, not just for us, but for the kids, you know, in the area and stuff. And I realised I had this skill where I could sew. Nobody taught me, and I never went to college, and I never had anybody teach me anything. I just picked up a sewing machine one day when I was about 12, and I started making clothes. And then I was making clothes for people most of my life. I also realised I had good moves. Maybe not on the dance floor.
Okay. Don't show off.
So I, dance. Dance has been one of the key things in my life that has kept me sane. Because it's one of those things where you can just express yourself.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter. I was into contemporary dance, and for a period of time I was in the church. I'm not in the church now, but I was in the church for a long time. And I was one of the main dancers. I was, so I danced a lot in the church. But alongside that, I also went to college and did a BTEC in contemporary dance. So I have that as well. And it's been my lifeline, literally, to be able just to freestyle, you know, with, you know, when I was at college, when I was in the church, even my house, when I was feeling frustrated, I just used to just break out in dance, you know, and just afterwards you just feel like, everything just feels fab.
Yes.
You know? So that, and then crafts, anything to do with the hands and the body, I was just really good at. So yeah, I feel blessed because, you know, nobody had to teach me those things. I literally, it was God-given gift, you know, but I did have to give time to nurturing them.
Yes,
So
I was going to ask that because I think when it comes to the running, I know you have Jamaican heritage in you. So Jamaicans are absolutely amazing runners, just saying.
Just saying.
And you're also absolutely amazing dancers. You know how to use every part of your bodies. You know, it's absolutely amazing. And like you said, from your mum, your sewing skills and all that stuff, it seems like everything that you're good at are, you know, I would say naturally gifted, but you also had to concentrate and develop that. So do you think your natural talent is wasted if you don't try and develop it, or are you just naturally good at something, you don't have to do anything to kind of get better at it?
I think you should always be looking towards growing whatever you have, nurturing it, getting better, because how do you learn new skills, for example, if you are still doing the things that they did back in, I don't know, say I was doing the same dance moves from the 2008. We're in 2021 now.
Yes.
You know, things change, and the ways to train your body changes, and you need to understand how the body works and how to, you know, warm up, cool down. You know, things we never used to do, but they're important. We just used to get up and run, but actually it's important, especially as you're getting older. You know, you can't just get up and run. You need to literally slowly get up and, you know, work towards. You have to. Doctors have to do it. You know, policemen have to do it. Anybody in any profession has to continuously be training and learning new skills. And I think whatever we have, we need to, you know, grow it, learn more. You know, I had a friend actually. It's a different kind of a skill. She was very bright, and she never used to revise for exams. That's how bright she was. She could just literally sit down and do the exam and come out with flying colours.
Yes, it's so unfair.
To me, that is a blessing to be able to do that, but not everybody can do that. And so, you know, the same with any other skill that we have. I think it's our duty to learn and to grow that skill. So then again, it's all about how can you help somebody else?
Yes.
And bring somebody. It's not help them down there. It's how can you bring people up to your level.
So at this point of your life, in terms of achieving your goals, what are you most proud of at the moment?
I'm trying to think. I'm proud of how I've grown Fashion's Finest from where it was to a recognised brand, and whether people acknowledge us or not, they know who we are. You know, people know us. I just, you know what, I've helped so many people. When it was Mother's Day, somebody said to me, Deborah, because I don't have children, and somebody said to me, you know something, you have children. All those young people that you like the mother of fashion, because you have literally brought up, nurtured, supported, and helped people. So that, to me, that is an achievement to me.
Yes.
Because I've helped and still helping people. It's what I set out to do. It's what I'm doing. I'm proud of the fact that I'm still here. I'm surviving. You know, through everything that I've been through, I'm just proud that, you know, even though my journey has been many lows, not many highs, many lows, but I'm still here. I'm still fighting the fight, and you know, my vision is still there. You know, it hasn't diminished. It's still there. I'm happy with life. I'm not going to complain. I'm happy with my life, and I'm happy with everything that I've achieved.
No, it's very nice to hear that. And often when I ask this question, you know, it's people come back to what the difference they've made in the world and in the community, or their in the lives of other people. And I think it's beautiful to hear that from you, because part of your goals is not just about you becoming the best version of yourself or achieving them, but also making a difference. And I think it's a beautiful thing to have that. So when you got all your different goals, you know, what's the driving force behind you to work hard and really go forward with it, despite all the challenges you may face?
Oh, passion, love for what I do. And I think, like I said at the beginning, from the outset, I hate the fact that we have all these inequalities in life and that people are treated differently. And so for me, that's a big pull, a big driving thing that I just, you know, like you have that bit between your teeth and it's like, it just keeps you going. It's that.
Lots it out.
Yeah, it's that. I'm driven by my love for what I do, but I'm also driven because I really do want to bring some change to society. And even if it is a little bit, and like I say, even if it is within my own little community, I am doing that. They're the things that are driving me. You know, passion, people, love for what I do, the changes I want to make, the people I want to help, what I want to give back. I've been given a lot. I want to give that back. You know? Yes.
So when you hear people, you know, commenting on what you've done and your best traits and just saying really positive things towards you, sometimes very hard to take. Does what people say about you to you surprise you? And how does it make you feel when you get this kind of feedback that's quite positive towards you?
Yeah, I always get, I know, oh dear, it's just hard to take, isn't it? People, I'm a very stubborn person. Now, nobody ever says, oh, you're stubborn. I had that all my life as a child, you're stubborn. But I think it's not a negative, it's a positive. That stubbornness has helped me. But when people do say things, they always say, oh, she's so lovely, she's so kind, she's so helpful, she's so, and I'm thinking, really? But I think I do, yeah, but I think, you know, without being proud, I think I'm at the age where I think I do know myself. Yeah. And I think, you know, I do know that I am a kind person. I like to help, I like to give, you know, and I'm not always looking, well, I'm not looking for money. I'm not looking for anything back in return. If I get something back in return, it's a bonus. But yeah, they usually say things like that, very kind, very generous, very loyal, very honest. She'll tell you the truth. That's the other thing, she'll tell you the truth. But yeah, I mean, I believe there's, you know, if it was one person saying it and everybody else was saying something different, it would make you wonder. But when everybody says same or similar, then you have to believe what people around you are saying. So yeah. Yes.
What do you think has made it easier for you now to just receive the good and positive comments?
I don't know. I think I've just at that place in life. Maybe it's age. Maybe it's I feel comfortable within myself. I don't mind if people say horrible things about me. It doesn't affect me anymore because I am confident in myself. I know myself. Yeah. You know, so I don't know. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's down to age. Maybe it's down to life experiences. Maybe it's down to my journey. Maybe it's down to the fact that there is evidence, you know, of the fact. So there are a number of reasons.
Thank you. So what is one of your favorite motivational quotes? Something that's your mantra that gets you up and going. You're like, because you come with a lot of quotes. I sometimes need to get pen and paper. So what is one of your favorite ones? Because you have so many lines that you just, you know, spit out.
I actually wrote part of this one down. So this is not a quote, but this is a Maya Angelou.
Okay.
So anytime I hear any negative, especially about the Black community, I just say, and still we rise. Yeah?
That's a good one.
Still we rise. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt like dust, but still I rise. So most days I just like, I rise, you know, that's going around in my head. And I go back to it from time to time when I'm feeling like I just need that little injection of Maya Angelou. You know, let me just go there.
Yes. Oh, it's such beautiful, like all her writing is absolutely amazing, Maya Angelou. And I think that part of me rising is like, as a community in all the world contexts, whether you live in Western society, in South America or Africa, wherever, the Black community has had to, rise and be resilient throughout so many different forms of inequality. Why is it so important for underrepresented or disadvantaged groups in society to have that resilience to still rise?
We have to. I mean, what would the world be like if every minority, can you imagine if every minority, every underrepresented person just fell at the first hurdle constantly, it would be a boring world. The world is actually boring without us, let's be honest. We do bring colour, and we do bring something that this world needs. It's a necessary. I don't have the words. We need to keep rising. This world needs us more than they realise. We just do. We just need to keep rising. We just need to keep following through. Block out the noise. Keep rising. Keep doing what we're doing. Keep making our imprint and our impression on society and the world around us, our own little communities. That will spread into the wider community, and hopefully it will have an impact on the people who feel they're up here and we are all down here.
Yes, definitely. So besides Maya Angelou, is there anything else that you're currently motivated by, who inspires you, who kind of gives you that motivation as well, besides her amazing writing? And she's alive, just saying for people, she is alive.
Honestly, I'm motivated because of my mum and my grandmother who passed. Both of them fashionistas, both of them involved in fashion. I didn't find out until my grandmother's passing 2 years ago how much she was involved. She actually won a scholarship when she was in Jamaica to go to America, work with a fashion designer, and that's what she did. So I'm inspired to be motivated because I know that they would want me to keep going and to do the best that I can do, because they are no longer here. I am their legacy. I have to keep going. I have to keep doing. I'm inspired to keep going because of my dad. In 1999, my dad had a stroke, and he is the loveliest person. Children will tell you, from children to up to old people will tell you, he sang, he danced, he played his guitar, he loved life, he loved to joke, and his life came to a standstill. So for me, I am living not for these people, but I am motivated to keep going as long as I can and with as much passion and drive as I have, because I love these people, and I'm their offspring. So that's what motivates me in the main, but I'm motivated because I just love what I do. And I'm at the stage in life that if I don't like something, I won't do it now. So I have to feel some kind of passion towards what I'm doing, or a reason, a good cause, like I love working, with unity in the community, because I just feel like, for me, that is just something new, that I'm actually now physically in my community.
Yes.
I've never really worked like in my Black community. I've worked with mixed communities, but I'm physically working in my own community, and it just brings something new and fresh, and that motivates me, like, to do more and more and more.
Yes. So I was going to ask you, because it seems like when you were talking earlier about your family's legacy, like your talent also stems from them. So it's like, when you do your ancestry work, or you just realize what your parents have done, you see actually a lot of what's so great about you comes from them.
Yeah.
So when it comes to building your own legacy, do you feel like it's a continuation of what they've built?
In some ways, because what I've tried to do, you have to kind of, nurture and be yourself. So although you're driven or you're motivated because of, you find your own life journey and your own reasons for doing what you're doing. And yes and no at the same time. you know, because I want my legacy really to be, she helped people. She tried. She tried her best. She helped people. She worked hard. She opened doors. You know, she did this for me. I've already had people say that to me. You know, I've done so many things in my life. It would take more than 1 hour to tell you them all. But one short story, I worked in a hostel many years ago, and with young people. And this young girl was very, very hard, very difficult. And she used to say to me, "Oh, you're so harsh, you are." I said, "No, I'm not harsh. I'm just telling you the truth. This is how life is. I'm trying to help you so that when you leave here, you have your own children, your own family, you become responsible." And then I was walking down the street one day, I was crossing across the Broad Marsh when we had the proper Broad Marsh, and I felt a tap on my shoulder, and it was that young woman. And she said, "I remember you." She goes, "You're Deborah, aren't you?" She goes, "I want to say thank you." She said, "Because I remember what you said to me." She goes, "And I've got, look, this is my little boy here." She goes, "And I took on board everything that you said, and thank you very much. I know I was horrible, but I want to thank you." And I never saw her again. But that's what you want. You know, that's the kind of legacy you want. You won't be able to hear it necessarily, but, you know, for people to say, you know, good things about you, or truthful things.
Yes, and also about the impact, because sometimes, you know, because that's a demonstration of tough love, and sometimes people just let things slide. But I think with some people, you feel like you have this feeling of, I need to say this to this person.
Yeah.
I don't know why. And you've just changed the course of her life just by acting upon that prompting that you had.
Exactly.
And it's absolutely incredible the impact that you can have on young people, because like you said earlier, you were helped by others and you're just passing on the baton.
Yeah.
I think it's so important for that.
And I think it's, you know, sometimes young people think you're just an older person. It's very hard for me to think of myself as an older person, but I am. But they forget that you were young once. So it's not as if you're talking about lived experiences here, you know, and you're trying to stop them from making those same mistakes. They'll make their own mistakes, but you're trying to help them along the way so that the mistakes they may have made maybe weren't as bad as what they will, you know. You just have to try.
Yes. So since you're on the radio, is there anyone that you want to give a big shout out to all around the globe?
Oh, I've got a long list. I mean, first of all, I have to start off with my fashion family, all my team. They are, I'm not going to mention all the names because there's too many. Have we got time for names?
I think we've got 2 minutes.
Okay, so all my fashion guys, they're just amazing. They're supportive. They've been with me for years. Then you guys at UITC, you know, you've come on board. We've only known each other, what, a couple of months? I feel like I've known you all for years. Literally hardworking, dedicated. Everybody's got their own work or things that they're focusing on, yet just the time and the input. It's been amazing working with you all. I love you all, honestly. And then I have to shout out to my friends at the Ark in Nottingham, Carlton Road, 27A Carlton Road. My friend Jasmine, her husband Stuart, and Paulette, they run a food bank. And they've been helping people all through the COVID. And I've been going there to build food parcels on a Wednesday for about an hour, and on a Sunday just to help them get food parcels ready and stack food on the shelves. And all very different things, but everybody is just so amazing. I just want to say, just keep doing what you're doing, because literally you are making an impact on my life, literally, but I know on the lives of other people as well. So big shout out.
And that's a really good shout out. So to end the conversation today, where can people find you? Are there any projects that people can support? And what's the one thing you want listeners to remember from this conversation today?
Okay, so you can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, Deborah St. Louis. You can find me, my Fashion's Finest business. I think Tatiana will put those links in.
Yes.
Fashionsfinest.com. You can find me on Unity in the Community. You can email me, Deborah, no, not Deborah, Deb St. Louis @gmail.com. At the moment, for my fashion side, I am planning the event in September. So we're always looking for volunteers, looking for people to help. If there's any writers out there, we're looking for writers for the website. There's always something for creative people to do if anybody wants to get involved. With Unity in the Community, we're now planning our second session, vaccine hesitancy session, which will be on the 21st of July. So we will be putting out the Eventbrite link and everything. So please look on our website, unityinthecommunity.co.uk, and look on our Facebook page and get the information from there. And we'd love you to join us. And what I'd like everybody to remember from this session is just literally, just live your life. Live your life. There's always more negative than positive coming out, being spewed out in the world. And just try to block out the negative, stay positive, find yourself a positive mantra that you can say to yourself every morning to help you get up, to help you motivate yourself, because we do need it, you know, in this day and age, because life isn't easy. It doesn't matter who you are, you know, what age you are, life can be difficult. So find that. Mine is, and still I rise, you know, plus as Tatiana says, I have loads of quotes that motivate me, you know, from Martin Luther King. I have so many different ones, but find something that motivates you, but also find something in life that motivates you. If you're not happy doing what you're doing, don't do it. Why are you doing it? Find something that makes you happy. Find something that gives you a reason to get up in the morning and to get going. Because if it's not doing that, then what's the point? But it's been really lovely chatting to you.
Oh, thank you, Deborah. It's an absolutely amazing conversation. And I've learned so much from you, from, you know, just listening to your experience and just understanding where your passion comes from. Thank you so much for being on the show today. I invite all of you to, you know, if you're watching this through YouTube or listening on the radio, put your comments in the comment section and share this with all of your friends and family. So we will be back next week at 6 till 7 here at FMB Radio. But for today, this is all. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.